Good afternoon, somewhat evening. It's about 5:40 out here. So we got all that heat this week, and well, universe was kind enough to cool it off by giving us a shower today. um, but you know what? Count it up in your favor. Okay, the work is always there. The job is always there. The desire for your energy to be put into something else is always there. But remember, you got to take care of yourself, okay? Because if you don't, the universe will align to bring your focus back onto the thing. And usually it's going to have something to do with your well-being, okay? Whether it's in mind, whether it's in body, whether it's in heart or spirit, okay? Well, I went and cut, finished one yard, started on another yard, and it started raining down on me. My mower started getting finicky, probably because of excessive heat this week. But you know what? Sometimes we don't get the first sign. Sometimes we don't get the second or third sign. Sometimes we keep ignoring that thing, and we play it off as it has no purpose, no intention in our lives. Well, I'm here to say that when you don't listen the first 3 times, it doesn't mean it stops. It just comes in a different form, okay? Tree branch fell in my driveway. Are you taking the time necessary to disconnect from all of the things that vie for your attention? People, places, things, work, you name it, okay? Are you disconnecting and turning inward to balance yourself? To give love to yourself by grounding in the present moment. Let that question sink in. If you want, you can go ahead and answer. Or if you have questions, you can go ahead and reach out to me. I have no problem, okay? The words I use in the information I supply is through my context of understanding. So even though it may sound or appear in a capacity to not make sense, it's completely okay. Because you're unfamiliar in the territory of realizing to love yourself is to treat yourself well. Through the way that you speak about yourself, through the way that you think, your thoughts within yourself, to the way that you present your emotions, okay? I'm not saying that your emotions aren't valid. I'm not saying that you have no right to express yourself. By all means, you have every right to express yourself. If whatever medium aids you in releasing that tension, that stress that you take on, that energy that might not be your own energy that you have taken on, release, okay? Simple as breathing. Simple as mindful actions. If I were in this situation and I was watching something unfold like it's on a TV screen, but it's in 3D reality, okay, physicality, and you are watching it unfold, how many lenses are you observing the interaction occurring? And in that lens of observation that you are watching the interaction unfold, how many times have you casted a stone of judgment? Now, when I say judgment, I'm saying the value of your energy that you are supplying to what you are observing, how you are resonating to it. Sometimes we don't think about our actions, and many times we just deny our actions as having any valid statement, right? But what if I said that every interaction that you experience, whether it's with another person or you are observing the interaction of other persons unfolding a scene, is for your greater benefit, in your favor, to elevate you higher? Have you ever seen an interaction and thought to yourself, I don't like how I am seeing this, so why don't I shift my perspective into a higher frequency, higher vibration? Why don't I look at this in a perspective of love, rather than a perspective of going with the crowd and agreeing with the energy of chastisement? When you practice a daily mindfulness and you cultivate within yourself every action that you do with an understanding, there's a fly buzzing around my hand, with an understanding that any energy that you supply, whether it's through your gaze, whether it's through your thoughts, whether it's through your words, or the emotional resonance that you supply, that's your energy, okay? Whichever form that you are utilizing in the moment, could you choose of your own free will to rise above? That power rests within you. It will not come to the surface unless you allow it to. Okay? I say this because I observed an interaction that was happening today, and I didn't degrade. I didn't say wasn't necessary. I didn't ask for any details. But at one of the yards I was cutting at today, I saw probably a kid, no more than maybe 10 years old, outside raking a yard, barehanded, exposed to the sun, and something kept knocking at me, and I'm like, I gotta get this work done. Rain's gonna be coming. I gotta get this work done. And I just realized that I was creating excuses for something that I was called to be able to do because I was able to provide something that I already had an extra of. So I wander over and I give this boy a sun hat and a pair of gloves. I'm assuming it was the mother or guardian. Said, oh, no, he's on punishment. And all I said is, I understand your perspective. I am only offering this gift to save his hands from blistering and to reduce the exposure of sun upon him by placing a hat on his head. Now, in the 40 minutes that I was using to cut this yard, I would keep looking back And I never saw a water bottle or something to keep hydrated with. And he asked twice if he could go inside for a drink and was denied. How many times does someone ask you for something and is denied it because you want to facilitate the correction in the process while ignoring the need for staying hydrated or something else, maybe nutrients? Is it so far out of your way, or would it cripple how you choose to discipline a child in your care in a loving manner to refuse something like a bottle of water? So I felt tugged, and I had a bottle of water gifted to me from one of the properties that I was servicing. I didn't know why, but I wasn't going to drink the second bottle. She gave me 2 of them, okay? But something clicked and said to give this kid water. I have experienced heat exhaustion and blackout periods from working on in severe temperatures, okay? If I can, with whatever power I have, help someone else, I'm going to without someone else's approval, okay? Could you see yourself in that same position? And I'm not saying this because I'm bringing it to the light of your lens, but if you were in that situation, how would you respond? Would you ignore it, look the other way, mind your own business, basically? But what if your business isn't just the work that you do, but the character that you present yourself as? The value that you have within you will always be greater than anyone else can ever imagine. And it can leak out, and other people could say how valuable you are. But until you believe it, you won't see the same way. You may even defend yourself, or you might put yourself in a defense mechanism and reject that statement. That's your choice. But if I had the opportunity 1,000 times, I would do it 1,000 times. Not that I have 1,000 pairs of gloves or hats, but I know what it's like to work in the sun. I know what it's like to work hard and still have your value questioned, okay? The right people will align, whether it's in your business, whether it's in passing, whether it's a stranger. The right people will align in your life to help support and guide that inner truth within you. And your ego can probably battle you and tell you not to interfere, tell you that this doesn't concern you. But the truth is, that's right. The value of love can never be earned. It's given unconditionally. It doesn't matter if a person is being corrected through some type of remedial work for a course correction. I've been that boy who was denied meals, denied drinks. And I'm not talking about soda or flavored drinks, because someone wanted to try to present their parental authority in a capacity that they thought was beneficial in their perspective in order to curate the behaviors that I would resemble or express. That was not to their liking. How many times has your uniqueness been closed off because you asked someone that you thought was in a position to see love over the correction? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I was always a positive role model as a kid. I was a kid. You don't learn without making mistakes, okay? You mimic and you embody actions of other people, but if it doesn't align with who you are, truly, there becomes a tug of war of where either you cave in for a different sense of acceptance and you hide that aspect of yourself. You never really throw it away, but you hide it so much that you end up forgetting that uniqueness that you have. Other people come into your life to help bring that back up out of you. I'm shaking right now because I didn't think I was going to share this. But the truth is, we live a human life experience. And we don't celebrate enough of everyone's uniqueness. Instead, we work so hard in cultivating them into the image that, like everybody else, act like everyone else, be accepted in society as everyone else, to a point where it might take somebody who's in the neighborhood doing work to see something in a different perspective. It does not cost you anything to give the necessary equipment. Sorry, I think there's water dripped on my camera. Or to give water when requested. If that is guilt or shame that you feel, that isn't because I give it to you. That is because I have spoken something that has risen it up. If I am going to profess living mindfully and taking care of yourself in a healthy manner, then I need to also walk what I say. Who else out there feels the same? Where do you feel that there were opportunities that were in disguise? Maybe not in the realm of your business or something that you might be able to recognize. But how many opportunities go fleeting by because you might have this internal whisper that says, it's none of my business. When you have the power within you to possibly help someone else, in whatever manner that might look like, okay? Whether it's a bottle of water, a Nutri-Grain bar, or something. Now, I don't really recommend Nutri-Grain bars because of how much sugar is in them, but you either have nothing or you have something. It's a lot different when you have the choice to choose what you eat versus having no choice to be able to eat. Okay. Yeah, I didn't wear my green shirt today. I figured I was going to get my shoulders a little red today too. But I challenge you to rise above first perspection. And when I say that, to see more than what appears to be going on. And step out of your comfort zone. To be a light in someone else's life. I guarantee you that love comes back to you tenfold. Ignoring comes back to you tenfold too. But you get to choose how you use your energy, how you represent yourself, and how you show up in someone else's life. Now, I might never see that boy again. I don't know. But just one act of kindness can mean the world to somebody. I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. And be kind in a loving manner. Even if it puts you in a situation that's unfamiliar. Okay? I gotta get going. I'm about to make some dinner. A little healthy eating. But let that resonate with you. In whichever manner, before acting, let it sink in your soil, your internal soil, and permeate for a little bit. When it's ready, it will rise up, and it will bring you into a higher vibration than you are right now. I love you guys. Be well. Stay hydrated. Show love. Love that's not earned, not based on merit. Show the power of your love just because you have it. Okay? You guys have a great night.